Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Elliott Wave Sage. And like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. And don't assume trades that I may recommend or my advice I'm giving people means you should do it. You got to own your own decisions. I may even change my mind based on the data at any moment. And I may want to hedge a long trade with a short trade and different strategies you don't know about. So you can't just blindly copy what you hear on this live stream, but just use it to learn and make your own decisions. And that's how I would use it. So let's go ahead and, like, for people just joining, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and answer questions that you may have. And if you want your question and you want to make sure it's answered, you want to just give a super chat. And if we get a lot of people, I don't usually stay on more than an hour. So, but anyway, let's kind of, like mentioned in my two videos, I gave a longer term crypto update video. I don't think people like that update, which is surprising. I thought everybody wants crypto to go to the moon, and I'm telling you guys, it probably is going to go into a 3 super cycle wave. But I guess everyone wants to hear it's going to crash because no one's long, which is typical early in the cycle, that nobody's long and they want it to crash still. But it's not going to crash. It's just not going to happen. I don't know how else to say it. It may go down, of course, but it needs to go higher before it can go lower, if it's going to go lower. And it's just the way the world works. Just like the sun sets and the tides come in and out. That's the way it's going to go. Crypto probably higher, and then we'll see a decision on that. And of course, the market's really tricky. Chop, right? And I said chop. It's going to chop up traders. And I mean, boy, the Thursday and Friday chop up traders if you weren't trading 3 waves down. If you were just randomly buying at different moments in time, you were really screwed up. But if you buy in 3 waves, even in the chop, you can survive it, typically. All right, so let's go to your questions. So anyway, what field do I work in? I don't like to share a lot of my personal views, but my background's in engineering, although I don't do engineering type work. But I have a lot of background in mathematics, and I have an MBA. I have 2 other degrees, top 10 university. I was full scholarship, all that, and from that side of the house. So, but I believe it or not, I don't really do any of that for a living. What I do for a living is not ready to share that, but it's a nice job I've got, and I enjoy it. And I do this on the side, and just kind of help people. And I want to help people. This is why I'm doing this channel, because there's a lot of bad advice out on the internet. There's so much bad advice. I just drives me crazy seeing it. But anyway, thanks. All right, let's go into so Etsy is just trying to test the patience of a trader. It's testing your patience, but there hasn't been a technical break of it yet. If you really look at this, I mean, this downtrend is broken. It broke it. And then it came back, and and sometimes you see these trend lines, they break, right? It's kind of like a false breakout and comes back, but now you've decisively broken out of it. So the market is trying to not let people get long this wave 3. It wants you to fold or get impatient and leave and go trade something else. And then there'll be news when no one knows it's coming, and it'll be, the 3 of 3 moment. I'm not worried about it until 80. If $80 breaks, then I would be more concerned, and it would invalidate this count that I have here in a 1-2-1-2. So, I don't know when its earnings comes out, but it's obviously got some news that's going to get people really, really excited, and it should launch this thing. Uh, this wave up, I mean, people seemed excited, and I do remember, we came down in 3. It's a pretty clean correction. I think you just have to be patient with it. It's sitting in the buy area, and my guess is strong hands are buying this and taking it away from the weak hands. Yeah, see this. This is going to come out. I mean, it almost looks like it's being manipulated to keep it from running. I mean, this type of RSI is very this is the 45-minute RSI too. This is very unnatural. It's almost like, hey, no, I want to box this in and accumulate. I don't know. It's just weird price action. This is one of the stocks I'm long, and I'm just going to hold it. So I'm not really too worried about Etsy. But anyway. All right, so I appreciate the super chats, guys. So let's go to the Hang Seng Index Midnight Run and XPEV. The Hang Seng, that update was on my video posted tonight, and it's very important to the overall direction of the market. I mean, if you come off this bottom, it's clearly impulsive. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I look at it in a lot of different time frames. I try to study it, but the one thing looking at this now is from an Elliott wave standpoint, it's impulsive. But from an RSI, it doesn't really show that divergence at the top that you like to see, right? And I guess that can't be the shortest wave, so it extended, so probably put that there. But I mean, it's impulse. It's an impulse of some kind. You can label it a different ways, but the RSI doesn't really confirm it. So the concern is that this is just a corrective structure, and we're going to go to new lows. I mean, there's no way the world markets would survive that. It just can't. It just won't happen. It can't happen. So the first test is coming up right here, right now. So really want to hold this 18,007. It's got to hold this. If it doesn't, you have this 3-wave move, a connector, and it should generate another 3-wave decline. And it could be really tricky. It could do something like this if it breaks it, and this is so common. You break it and then pump and then crash, but it would be a broken chart. It would be broken. It would be a broken chart. It would be a broken chart, and then it would retest this low, which there would be no guarantee it would hold. So if we got this, I would use this pump to get out of anything that's related to China, and then maybe short it. But if there's no guarantee, it could just start going down like this. So it's a tough call. But what I do see is the individual stocks in China don't support such a drop, right? BABA has good news coming out. It's ready to turn, or has turned. The other stocks are supported. It just doesn't seem like there's enough sectors that could go down. So I think this is the count for now. And of course, when we got this count, what happened here? Yellen is visiting China. There's some good news, some positive news this weekend coming out of that visit. Then you had the BABA news that the buyback that they're going to do and all this shit. So it's perfect wave 3 of 3 action. So it may get China, and then you have weak dollar. So this could be the emerging market trade. This could be emerging markets, China long, weak dollar, and that trade is what I'm long, and I want a piece of that, which is why this is just a noise. And I want to be in the triple bull China. I want to be in these anything emerging market, EDC. I want to be in all that, I want this. I want this. Now, you break this, like I said, you got to be cautious. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if it did that and then broke down, based on still the dollar needing a lot more downside. So, but breaking that would be bearish for the for that investor to be careful, be a warning. But right now it's okay. And then the XPEV. To me, oh, it's in the technology sector. So it's been doing okay. So we had this in this 4-wave, but obviously the cycle's over. We're looking for 5. It didn't happen. And so typically when this occurs, it's either are we a swing off or not. And again, you had the 1, 2, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, so it looks like only 3 waves down still. So the corrective structure is only 3 here. So we didn't get an impulse. So but you still have a 3 waves. So what this will change to is a WXY and not an ABC structure, and that would account for that. This difference here. And then let's see, we've been charting this for a while. Yeah, let's see here. So yeah, W 3. I'm trying to remember how I charted this before. 5 down, 3 up, 3. Yeah. Yeah, let's take another look at this chart. We're just gonna start over. This one didn't behave as we expected. So we would have wanted to see it hit 372. It got to 616. So it did finish early. And then the corrective pattern too big. So this is the peak of the impulse of some impulse. Let's see here. See, that looks like 5 down, but that doesn't look like 5 down to me. See, it's 3 down. It's only 3. And see, if you look here, there's no divergence. You see that, and you see that, and you see the price, and you see the low. So it's misleading. See, this looks like 5 waves down, right? But the RSI actually confirms it as 3. And you're like, people would scratch their head and they will go like, I don't get that. And it's because it's it counts like this, and you have your 3 swings here, and then you have your 3 swings here. So that's why the RSI has to be used with the Elliott waves. And then when you do that, this correction makes sense. So it even fooled me. So we must have missed that RSI. And then you have the 3 and the 3 with the connector. So that would have that's clearly the bottom right there. And we're building off of that. And you made a higher high, which also confirms the uptrend's in place. So this is clearly buy the dips in 3 waves. Buy the dips in 3 waves, and then you want to stay long. And you could be in a grand super cycle low. Now here, you made a lower low here. And again, see no RSI divergence, which is perfect for a 3-wave move. So now you're in a 3 of 3 breakout, which supports the view in the Hang Seng, right? If the Hang Seng's going 3 of 3, this would go 3 of 3. So XPEV looks like it's pretty bullish here. And really the next area of resistance I see is somewhere around $25 and as high as 34. That's probably where this cycle will finish, and then you'll get a much bigger a more serious pullback. You know, this something like that. This would be the ideal wave. You go sideways, you maybe pop and make a high, and then you go down quite substantially again. Something like that. And then you complete this head inverse, and then you could buy again here for the run to all-time highs. Something like that, but it's bullish, and it's in a pullback like the rest of the market right now. See, no divergence. Again, looks like 5 waves, but it can be deceiving. So this is a one move. So could it make another? This too could still go deeper. So here's a buy area if you're going to buy the dip in this. If this were to dip again, 1309, 1222, you probably fill the gap here, and then somewhere in this area is where you can buy it to go long for a wave 3 breakout. And you know, so you could say, well, why isn't this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? I don't think it is, because there's not enough extension in wave 3. You want to get more separation, so I think it would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, but that's aggressive. As long as these RSI takes this low. If we pull back in this 2, this RSI needs to stay above this low. If it breaks it, then I think you can go back to like a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a corrective, and we're actually still in 2, and a massive A, B, C flat to retest the lows. So that's why it can be tricky. So it's not like, you know, go just market buy it, because it could still be a flat, and we don't know. But it could even be done. Again, you look at the RSI on the, like I said, the 4-hour, or where we're looking, the 15-minute here. Yeah, the 15-minute. So this cycle's over. So if you're aggressive, you could go long here and have your stop at 13, you know, maybe 1380, and go long here and hope to get that, right? Boom. And then you're making a lot of money. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But thanks for the super chat. And then Donald Boyle, and Boyle is almost a buy. It's on my watch list for trade. I didn't buy it on Friday because I thought it could go deeper. So I want it at 56, but then you got this gap that I'd like to see filled to 54. So somewhere in this area, I want to see it not go too deep. If it goes too deep, there's another alternative for this to be a corrective pattern, and that would fool a lot of traders. It would do this, and then it could go to new lows. So you can't be again punch drunk bullish on this, even though it looks like a really good setup. I mean, you have an inverse head and shoulders, you know, forming the left shoulder, the head, and now this is the right shoulder. The best time to buy for a wave 3 breakout, but you can't, there's no guarantee that could happen. And if we start to go deeper down, I would be worried that it's the corrective structure I showed and not this bullish structure. The bullish structure is, to me, a trade idea to get 5, 3, 5. And you can get to maybe 100 and maybe 120 if we're lucky. Because, as you know, if you have A as the trend, you need a B, you need a C, and then the market could go to new lows, or it can do another 4 and 5. So I think you're just going to have to, you know, play it and see. The other way is to wait for the cycle to end, right? The 45-minute cycle still in progress. You see that? Once that breaks, then that could be another signal to just go long, and you can see the downtrend line here, but you're far away from the where so you're in a it's still down. The direction of this is still lower. So buy-in, I think, is too early to buy this, but the time is coming hopefully soon. If we can break out and then break this RSI channel, then it could be worth buying against this 57. And then your other one was UNG. UNG is I haven't looked at that in a while, but it should be in a similar situation as the others. So we had this in this 4. So we're in wave 5, and this would have been really nice to have it actually finish here, but we went lower, which I don't like. So we're still technically in this wave 5. I really want to see that $10 level break to negate it. Now, again, like the other one, it looks like we're up off of 5 waves. No divergence there. And there's your divergence. So you're good off the bottom with 5. But, you know, I can't get 5 waves. I mean, you really can't get 5 waves. So, so the other, you have a higher high sequence here. So it's a tough chart. Maybe we have the swings off a little bit. Perhaps we could put the 3 here, this 4 here, and put this 5 here, and then put that 4 there, and there's something. And this is some kind of like flat. But it's too early to say bottoms in, because that would be huge for a lot of reasons, right? To say natural gas has a major low. But I think if this is right and you have your 3 swings here, $675, $657, a gap again, and another gap. So this is the area, and you want to see this divergence erase. Now the 4-hour looks okay, but it would be nice to have the 45-minute break down. So I would say more downside. And then it should balance again. It should at least give you 3 waves like that and test this $10 level. And then after that, who knows? That could be the bottom, like I have it. So I think it's looking more and more likely natural gas has made a major low, but it's not I don't think it's technically confirmed yet. Let's take a look at our... Okay, so that's interesting. You see that we break out, but now it looks like it's back testing the down. You know, so it wants to end the correction so bad. But once it's over, man, it's going to run pretty nice. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things, you know, you're just going to have to do what's best for you. But I mean, you could wait for the perfect entry, or just, you know, buy it, and it looks like the preponderance of the evidence appears that this is a major low and natural gas is formed. It's impulsed up, it's in wave 2, it's ready to come out in wave 3. And it kind of lines up with the dollar lower and the oil market going higher here. So it all lines up, and energy breaking out. So I think to me, that's kind of how I would look at it. So anyway, do what's best for you. Good luck on that. So we'll go back to to our list and see what you guys have. And thanks for the super chats. Pinterest. We haven't looked at that in a long time. Pinterest. I don't even know the symbol. I don't really trade Pinterest, but I know there's a lot of people that do, and it has some big moves at, at different points. Damn, look at that. It looks like the ARC chart, Kathy Wood's chart, right? Yeah, there's your 3, there's your 3, there's your 5. So then it pretty much had a massive ABC type correction. Three waves. It's probably something like that. So it's pretty safe to say the downtrend's over. But we need to break this high to confirm. Okay, no divergence there on the day. I'm sure there is on the daily. Yeah, you made a higher high right there. So yeah, what a mess. Yeah, this is a really ugly, all those overlapping waves. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to do this, but this is a mess. So we're just going to say 1. And then this looks like 3 waves down, a massive capitulation. So yeah, that's a 2. So you're definitely trading against that. There's 5 there. There's 4. So it looks like you're up one more high. And then a pullback. I think that's what tech looks like too a little bit. Yeah. So right now it's 3 up. So it can right now you could even still be in wave 2 for all we know. So right now it's in no man's land. But if it makes this 5th wave, then it could pull back again and then be buyable. That would be good. I would even like the 5th wave to break this high. If that 5th wave can break 29, 26, keep this divergence on the bearish divergence there, and then you can get this pullback. This would be a great opportunity to go long. But right now it's kind of guessing. It could be a lot of different things, and I wouldn't want to trade it at the moment. But if I saw something like that, that would be a good long here. This is it. Now the other option is it's more bullish, 1 2 1 2, and then you get a 3 of 3 breakout, which you just never know if that's going to happen or not. But it's typically not the case. Although the only thing that may support that is there's been a lot of consolidation in this area, so there may not be sellers left to push it down. So there could be a chance it could just break out in 3 of 3 here, but it's not easy to predict. But I think it's pretty much a bullish instrument for now, and it should continue to go higher. So anyway, that's good for that. And then PSX. Oh, Phillips 66. Yeah, we looked at this. So we put the B here, and we had the C here, and we've been, looks like, struggling to get down here. So this was an interesting call to call the expanded flat. I guess that's what I put on here. And it did peak. We are down. This, I don't like this. There's too many overlapping waves. This is not typically a flat pattern. So I don't think this is the case anymore. So I think it's something else. So let's look closer. So you see there's no divergence. They're at the daily time frame, and clearly this is a cycle here. So there's a cycle, there's a cycle, and there's a cycle. So I have several cycles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, and we could put the 2 there, and then we could say we're in another 1, 2. This was too bullish to say that at first, but now that you see that, now it's like it's not too bullish. This is the count more than likely. And now we need to see where these connector waves are. Yeah. Yeah, looking at it, so it's a really strange correction. It doesn't so there's that. Yeah, the correction's not done. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done, but I think it's got maybe one more swing to go. My guess is like one more swing. You really want to see that swing and see some of this divergence erased, and we're not. Yeah, I'm gonna, again, we could still be an X. I could be off by a swing, but it seems like it's missing a swing. '84. So I'll be looking for this area, 84, and a retest of the lows. Something like that. What you don't want to see is the RSI taken out. This RSI, if that gets taken out and you're close, you see, if that gets taken out, then it may go back to the flat scenario I had before, and then you get this. Then it breaks this 2, and you get that flat. So, yeah, I think overall it should continue higher, but it's trying to shake people out here and get people to capitulate and get out so it can break higher. Again, big picture, Left shoulder, head. Now we're in the right shoulder. And if I just do a simple look, like 170, 180. So it's a good stock to own and hold. It's just in this correction. It's trader battles, day trader battles, and big funds trying to get people to dump their stock and lose, but that's what's going on here. But it should break out. I mean, I look at this, it looks pretty bullish. It's going to come out of this. So, anyway. Let's see, Datadog looks good to me on a pullback. Yeah, they're all, everything's kind of starting to run with the market. But things are outperforming others. You just want to be in the right stock, and that one's been pretty bullish. It hasn't really given opportunity for people to get in on it. Like, we never got that dip that we wanted here. Well, I mean, I guess you could call that was the dip. It just never got there. So now the question is, we're off the low in a 1-2, 1-2, and what happened here? So let's see. Capitulation. So that's the 2. That looks like 5 up again with divergence. So this pullback is another buy. It should be another buy. So now you're pulling back. It's clearly so it may pull back to 94, but it's a buy against this low here at 90. So this is a good trade idea. Potentially against $90 on the long side. A dip buy at 94 would be ideal. That would be ideal. And you could play that wave 3. It's almost not even fair for all the people, some people that have held and they're waiting patiently, but it's clearly the correction's over, and it's in a new cycle higher. And that's what it should be doing. So I think yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that hold, this 90 hold. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, Datadog. That's interesting. Okay, I've got some more super chats. Thanks. So TRJN Spy, Trace Spy. Thank you for the 5. Yeah, thank you for that. Alex, EOS Bitfinex. Yeah, how's EOS doing these days? I don't know. Do we have it? I think that's Coinbase. EOS Bitfinex. EOS USD. That would be it. Okay, so I don't know how much data is missing, but I mean, you're higher than the 49 was the low, 59 was so. I guess that's okay. That's a good start. That would just be a massive 1-2. Now, right away you see 5 up, right? I mean, it looks like 5 up, right? So that means we will get another 5. And look, you have divergence. So the good news is this high will break eventually. At some point in your life, this is going to break. And you're going to get a whole new sequence higher in this coin because you impulsed up, and you should get maybe 45, 47. So that's the good news. The bad news is how long are you going to have to wait for that? And that's the problem with these cryptos. It could take a long time, but that looks like 5 down here. But let's see, the divergence doesn't support it, so let's say 3 down. And then you have 3 up. So you're in this massive correction. So now we're in this Y correction. There's your first connector right there. Looks like, I mean, one more low potentially, but there's not a lot of room margin for error. 3, let's go to the daily, because now you need to get like an impulse to finish this impulse out. You don't have it, but it's almost like 3 waves. So, you know, I would like to see that, and then that should do it. So that's 52 cents. So, I mean, I think the previous low is kind of irrelevant, to be honest, because 1, we probably don't have all the data, and 2, really the previous low is 0, right? It comes in at some point, it was worth nothing. So really, I'm not going to pay too much attention to this and this figure here at 48 cents. So I would just say for now, it looks like to me it needs to go lower, and I would wait to this is finished. But it will finish at some point, and once it does, it should do it. So to me, this is, you're in this this leg of the correction. So here's your downtrend line. So when that line breaks, when this line breaks, then you should have a pretty good run, right? And again, this is 2. And if we saw what Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash did, they hit a 2. They didn't just move vertical. So what they'll do, what you may see is come up and come down, and then you may have to wait a while, but eventually it will come out of whatever this is. But I think it's obviously going to have a nice run. It should have a nice run this cycle coming up, this crypto cycle coming up. And I mean, I could be off by a swing still. For all I know, I could do that, and it could be finished. So again, I don't know. You want to wait for the perfect entry, or just go long and hold if you have the conviction. But we'll see, something like this. But it could be done. But once you break this like $1 level, then I think it's safe to say the correction is done, and it's a whole new bull cycle is born. So do what's best for you on that. Okay, let's go back to the questions you guys had. Monster and Celsius. Like Celsius, I'm waiting for it to pull back a little bit. I gave Celsius, if you have followed me, I gave you guys that as a trade on Twitter. And of course, everyone's like FOMOing in now. But, I gave you guys a trade here at 81. And even again at 90, I posted it twice for a wave 1 2 1 2. It was a massive breakout, right? A 1 2 1 2 1 2 and a cup and a handle, and then it just didn't look back. So now we're in this too, right? So we've impulsed out, and we're this. So we're looking for this to finish. And if you look, the RSI is bleeding, but the price isn't. So this is being met with buyers. So it's very bullish. It's really bullish for some reason. I guess I put the 5 there. I mean, this is way too shallow for a 2. You know, maybe it could get to 127, 133, but the RSI is real. This is doing like what Tesla does. You know, it bleeds all this RSI and the price barely moves. So I would say very bullish, very bullish. These targets are no longer good for selling. It would be something to buy, and perhaps one more. It can get one more swing down, which is likely because it still seems too shallow, to 138, 132. And that would be another buy here. I don't think of this as a wave 3. I want more extension before it's a 3. I think it's another 1, 2, and that's why it's probably so bullish. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see this top channel exceed it, and like we want to break out of. We want to do something like that. Break out of this channel. So it's good. It's bulwark. Everyone's trying to short it too, from what I'm seeing online. Again, that the PhD traders want to short it. I wouldn't short it. I would not recommend shorting that. So Monster, my chart on Monster is in again a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in a wave 5 of a grand super cycle that should be ending. So Monster is about to have some dark days ahead of it, but not yet. It's still not done. It's still got more swings to go, but as you can see, the good times are almost over. And then there should be a massive correction, and I think it'd go back to $37. So I don't know why that would happen, but it is what it is. If it could take that peak out, that would change things, but it doesn't look likely. It's just extended in 5, and at some point it will run out of gas. I mean, you could. That's too short. I think this is the better count, just like I have here. And we've seen these kind of patterns all the time, right? And then it'll come down, and then it'll be a super cycle degree low. So definitely a different chart than Celsius right now, but it does. But if you get this would be a great opportunity for a long-term investor. You know, to wait for this. As long as you have this bearish divergence happening, then what I showed you is sound. If it erases divergence, which it can do, then it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then then it's extended, you know, pretty significantly. So, but it doesn't seem like that would be a likely path. Okay, so let's take a look here. So stay on for about 10 more minutes. Rivian. Yeah, everyone's like FOMOing in these electric car stocks. I don't invest, or I don't even trade them, because I just don't drive these things. But so that was our accumulation area, right? And it reversed hard off of it. So Yeah, it would probably, it did something like that. So yeah, I mean it looks like the correction's over. That's the cycle peak. And now it's in 3. So we haven't had the wave 4 yet. You took the RSI out. See, again, people are trying to top tick and short these things, and they're just getting they're blown up as it does that. So it should be ending this wave 3, but it should go higher before lower. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it could keep extending. The next area of resistance is really 29, $30. It's probably the target, and then the other next target's 38, 39. Again, let's look for. Always like to look for these inverse head and shoulders because the market tends to do these. So here's your left shoulder. There will be your head at the 39. Then you get your right shoulder, and then you're out. So perhaps this pump can get us to $39. Eventually, this will have to play out over the next couple months. We'll see. But looks good. What was this news? Well, anyway, Boeing is again, I want it higher before lower, and if I remember Boeing right, Boeing so Boeing has this W and this X. So we need another wave up, to get up to here. I want it to 325. I want it in the 300s, and then it can make another run down to break these lows. So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. So I'm just kind of charting it, as an impulse for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in this 5th wave. And now within the 5th wave, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2. So there could be a big move in Boeing coming, guys. When this consolidation's been going on since January, sideways, it's gonna come out of this. This is a textbook bull flag. I mean, it's bull flag, right? There's your flagpole. It's a bull flag. It's going to come out of this bullish, and when it does, that should propel it into the 300s, 330s. Then it's going to be tough to say where it's going, and I think it's going to be, the market direction. What's the market going to do? It's really up to the market. And when if the market's going to, everything melt up, moan boy, then of course this isn't going to go down. But if the market's going to do that flush let down lower, then this is going to wipe out. The other thing is, could it have Boeing Max problems, right? I've always said with Boeing, you're one plane crash away from zero on this thing, because if you wake up one day and another Boeing Max crashes, this company's toast. Equity holders are going to be really in a bad position, because they're not going to be able to. There's going to be massive fundamental problems with the company if they have one more go down for whatever reason. Even if it won't be their fault, they'll be guilty till proven innocent type reaction in the marketplace, and the stock will be just obliterated like you wouldn't see before. So if you are a long-term investor, just understand that you have a massive event risk with this company. So I think it feels good, and maybe you can get this money and it's great and it feels good, but I do think you're one news story away from having a really bad day. And hopefully, of course, no one wants that to happen. It's just, it would be a tragedy, but it is, it isn't impossible. So, but for now, the technicals say higher. I wouldn't worry too much about that impulse. I would just say worry. I just think it's going to be in this 300 area. Okay, so let's see what you got. Oh, okay. Oh, there's your. I didn't. Yeah, I saw the 5. I didn't see your stock symbols. Okay, SYM. All right, so I'll do that and wrap it up, guys. Symbiotic. Let's take a look at that. Looks like we ended the 5th wave here, right? I must have given this to somebody else at one point, and it looks like it did sell off massively, like would have been expected. So this is the first wave down. Typically, you'll hit the wave 4 low, and that looks like where we're heading on this. So be looking for like $28, $24, somewhere in this area. And then that would be a very viable dip because you have 5 up, and with 5 up, it means you have another 5 up coming. So this is a good area to buy right here. You see that candle, it's very bearish. It looks like it's going to push down to this 28 area. EE. That's just a classic flat correction. It looks like you see 3 and the problem I have is you made a lower low here. It would have been nice to have this the bottom. So now I don't know if this is still in the C leg, and it's a 1-2, 1-2. So it could be pretty bearish. So that's interesting. You see that weekly crossover there. So that also tells me that this is done. So it's just it just has a tight wave 1. It's out of proportion with its wave 4, which it can happen with something like that. So yeah, it looks like to me some kind of flat correction. So it looks like it's going to go higher. Yeah, I mean, if I look at this, yeah, it's a mess. I would say this is really tough to model. So I would just no, it's probably supported against this low at 1817, but this would be a massive, like if it broke that, then it could really have the bottom fall out technically. So it does. Look at the weekly. It looks like it's ready to start its new uptrend. And it could be a possible wave 3 candidate, you see. So I wouldn't be too bearish on it. FLNG. So this cycle's over here. It's been around for a while. Yeah, it's really interesting. See how much RSI it's burning off, but it's not going down in price. That's very interesting. If this is a full cycle, this RSI needs to take this one out, and I don't think it's going to do that. So I think you have to go with a more bullish count. Is a 1-2 setup. So let's get this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So put that there. It seems too shallow. It seems like it should push lower to 26.84, 21.27, but this is very buyable for a much more gains ahead in a 1-2 setup. The question is, what does this company do? Because I'm kind of curious. This is pretty bullish. Shipping and transportation. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, and BROS, let's see. Dutch Brothers. I think we've done this one before. So we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like that's finished. Just can't see the 4 anymore, but it's finished. So there's 2. So the drop played out. So it looks like now we're starting the wave 3. Let's look at the RSI. Oh, yep, you're good. So yeah, so I think it's in a new bull cycle. That looks like 5 up there. That looks like a flat. Yeah, that's good. So so you could still be in 2, and you'll retest that low, but chances are you're not, and it's ready to have a pretty large breakout. So do what's best for you. Dutch Brothers. Okay, so that's interesting. I don't know much about the company. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we can get rid of some of this. Yeah, I mean, I could draw a lot of different ways, but this looks like it's ready to roll. Ready to roll going higher. All right, I'll just kind of scan the questions and wrap it up. If there's something quick I can answer. Hood is good. Hood is good. I'm long in Hood. I've given you guys that trade. And I would say and now everyone, yeah, now I'm hearing it all over the place. Like, oh, let's just go, on CNBC guys, traders are like, go, everyone wants it. Kathy Wood's been buying it. But you know, I showed you guys that chart before anyone was paying attention to it. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. So yeah, I mean, it's got a really tricky bottom structure count here. I think I gave you guys the trade at 850 or somewhere down here to keep you on the lookout. And again, it looks like it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We're about to hit 3 of 3. It makes sense if crypto's going to run. Hood will run with crypto. Hopefully we can hit 16. That's my first target. And again, start forming this reversal pattern. So that's what I'm thinking we'll see in Hood, but it's very bullish. We broke out clearly, and it should run from here. It should start really picking up momentum. That's what I want to see. BABA should go higher based on China. If you watch my update I did earlier on China, if that plays out, BABA's going a lot higher, which will be good. GDX, I'm long it, and I'm still hopeful and optimistic. Of course, the BRICS news was like unexpected, and you know, gold and silver popped. But I think again, traders don't really understand the significance of what that means. They're oblivious to the magnitude of the impact that something like that could have to the financial, you know, system. But I mean, that's the kind of news that we need to get gold and silver going. I mean, that's the news. But anyway, GDX is still 5 up, 3 down, and as long as that low holds, it's hopeful, right? And it held. Now we'll see what happens next week. Now, if this low breaks, it's a connector for this move down, and then it could open up prices to retest these lows, which of course would not be good. That would be $23, $21 retest these lows. I would probably have to, just out of risk management, dump it if it stops out there. Just, I'm not going to hold it down. I just can't do that. Now, if interest rates rise, this is going to tank. Now, if interest rates fall, like I was saying, you're going to get that flat, and those rates are going to not spike right away, but dump. Then this should rise. Gold should rise, and the dollar tanks. Gold should rise. So this should rise. And this will fool a lot of people because again, all over the internet, everyone's like, "Oh, the next cycle, the cycle low is like here, and it's going to keep going down, and everything keeps going down." I'm like, "Well, it's not going to go to F and 0. I mean, at some point, this thing is going to go to new highs. It's just testing people's patience." But at some point, the cycle's gonna run out of sellers, and I think we're close to that point. But people, I think, are too bearish on this sector, way too bearish on the sector. Let's see what you guys have. Again, I'm just gonna scan through questions where I have charts in. PDD and JD should all be ready to launch. If China has bottomed like I think it has, everything's gonna pump. But I think, as you know, PDD's been the most bullish of them all. Maybe not recently, but it had been. So yeah, I have it 5, 3, and it should be coming up and out. Hopefully, again, if it breaks 59, or more importantly breaks 66, then I would be more concerned. But again, it seems to be holding up. QSI upside target. Yeah, the QSI chart is one I have too. I'll show people beside with some along that one. If I can find where I put the symbol. Okay, so QSI gave this trade. We're in a wave 3 breakout. I want to see it. Its first test is going to come up probably at 258, and then again left shoulder, head, maybe get a pullback. But I do expect that to break out of that pattern if you hold it. Where then you can get to another area, maybe at this, maybe somewhere around this $4 area. So it's gonna take some time. You're gonna have to be patient with the trade, but I do think its sequence is higher. And again, we have Kathy Wood buying it and other people. I like the chart on it, so we'll just see. But right now, I do think it's in the wave 3 should be finishing at any moment. Get this 4 and 5, but you see, this still gotta go higher. And again, it could still become another 1 2 1 2. It could just keep pumping. But to me, it looks like the bottom's in here and the double bottom formation that broke out and now should go higher. And it's it's looking good. And a lot of these small caps are going to start doing this. A lot of these small caps are going to run. This is probably another test. You see that? So it's coming up to that. I think when it breaks out, that's going to catch the eye of a lot of other traders that trade this kind of trend line trader. There's a lot of traders that do these trend lines like that. So I think I think it's bullish, and you just got to do what's best for you. But I do think it's going to have some challenges here at $2.50. But I think it should get there. Okay, let's see. And then I'll finish up with Bitcoin. Is there still bearish counts where the top is around? Let me see. There's a count here. Let me find it. So I was trying to find, what is always look for every equal. So I think you have to say this is five up here. This is an impulse up here. Right, there's your peak is here, so 1 2 3 4 5. So we know we're 5 up. So if this was bearish, okay, so this was a C B A, so this could have been an A B C corrective pattern, but then you broke the high. You see that, and that negates that. So you don't have an A B C anymore. So you can't say that was a connector wave to do lows. So now you have this higher high. But now you can't even say that this is still in 2 because you need 3 waves up, but you have 5 up. I showed that earlier. So you don't have, you can't say this is an A, B, C. So you're left with, okay, what other bearish pattern could it be? Well, could it be an A, B, C and a really, ugly A, B, C pattern like this, right? Let's see if I can get it working here. So A, B, could it be something like that? And you've seen patterns that are really ugly like that, or maybe even something like this. So what would I look for? Well, here's the thing. The divergence this has to be taken out. That peak has to go on the daily and even on the weekly. So those peaks have to go. So that's a lot of room. I mean, to take that out, that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of pumping. So it's more than likely going to be up here if it's going to do that. That's why I said this is really the moment of truth. So I really think it's going to get to 46,000. But for sake of it, if it could get to 30, let's say 36,000 and take this RSI out, then maybe you could try to say you have an ABC connector, and you would want to see this finish something. You want to see it do something like this. But I think if this happens, it's not going to be able to give it enough juice to get over that peak. It's going to need to push higher. And then once you do that, then you're opening up for a bigger impulse. So that's why I say this. I don't really see the the bear case on the at the moment, given the technicals. If it were to just drop and go to new lows, then you would just have to force that it was an ABC, like that. You would have to force that count, which would be completely unorthodox. In all the videos I've done for you guys, and we've never really seen anything quite like that before. But I mean, by pure Elliott wave theory, it's okay because you have 5, 3, 5. Elliott wave theory has nothing about RSIs. That's, none of that. So, I mean, I guess you could say that, but it doesn't. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think I don't see a technical at this point. We need to be up here. Then the bear case really has more of a possibility at that point. And then we could see where the market is, where the dollar index is, where everything's trading, and go from there. And like I said, it just, we'll have to wait and see. But to see it just drop down would be very unconventional, very unusual, and not technically, not something I would have expected. And if you remember, the ETF news caused this like flash crash, right? And the price got supported here. So that's also a test of buy-in interest. This was a good test because this should have brought us back down here, and it didn't. Because this was where where it was, I think he came out and said, "Oh, those ETFs, I'm not approving any of them," something like that. So then the market just tanked, and then it found buyers, boom, back up, and now it doesn't know. Market's confused, but I'm just gonna hold it. But okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. And if I didn't get to your question, just, as you know, super chat, go right to the top of the list and I'll answer it. I try to do these live streams when I can. And yeah, I'm just hoping we get, the Russell to pump. I want to get these small caps to pump, and that would be really nice way to end this cycle higher. Because we've really seen it all, right? Techs pump, all these things are pumping, but we really want to see the small caps pump and get some of that action going, and then I think we'll have the market lined up for a bigger drop later. As long as the inflation genie, that wild card I call it, is not in play. But if that goes into play, then our playbook is out the window, and we're going to see a very unusual market that we haven't seen and experienced before as traders. But anyway,